the theory of the Marxists divided society into two. One is the bourgeoisie, that is the wealthy man in the society, the political class, and then the proletariat, that is the working class. So this society that is divided into two, the other people, the law is there to protect them. While on the other hand, the proletariat, that is those who are the commoners in the street, the working, those who live by their daily earning, the society, the law is there to impose, to punish them. And on this very video, we consider the practical illustration of what Karl Marx said that law is, and see how it applies to our very society. And also, we shall consider the criticism that surrounds Karl Marx's perspective of Marxist theory of law. It is really a video that you wouldn't like to miss. Join this video. Let's see how Karl Marx's perspective of law can be deduced from our practical society, and also as we consider the criticisms that surrounds Karl Marx's perspective of Marxist theory of law. Hello, you are highly welcome to King's Advocate Network. I'm Kingsley, and today we are discussing the Marxist theory again on this lecture video. However, today's video is different from the quiet video we had. In case you have not watched that very video, I encourage you to watch that video, because this particular video is the continuation of that very video. And basically, today's video we are going to consider the perspective, the practical illustration of Karl Marx's perspective on Marxist theories of law. However, if this is the first time you are joining this channel, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, because every time, every day, every week, we post a video here that could be helpful to all of us as we grow in our society, as we grow in our journey of becoming a lawyer, as we go in journey of our knowing our relevant rights as concerns to law, and as well as concerns everybody in society. So if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do so that you will have unlimited access to all the videos that we'll be putting up on this channel. Having said that, let's dive into today's video. Remember what we said last video, that Karl Marx said that law is not meant for the good of the society. Karl Marx views law as an instrument of oppression. In the perspective of Marxist theorists, they say that law is nothing but an instrument of oppression. Let us see how it is obtainable in society. Because whenever we begin to say all these things, begin to speak all this English, it appears as if to say it's not something that is relatable. All these things are relatable, because that's what I do in this channel. Bring it to your notice, to clear it, to remove all those kind of things that could make you to be confused whenever you are reading. After this lecture video, believe me, you are going to know what Marxist theory is all about. Whenever you open your book to read this thing, you will be doing revision, not reading it again, because I'm going to explain to you. If you will be following this lecture video, I'm going to explain to you everything you have to know, because today is practical illustration. In our first video, we did introduction where we identified Karl Marx, and also we also treated the benefits as well as the holistic approach to Marxist theory. Now today we are focusing on the practical approach. We want to see how it applies to our constitution. That is what we are going to do today. Get ready, sit tight, get your pen and jotter, because we are going to learn a lot, beloved. The theory of the Marxists divided society into two. One is the bourgeoisie, that is the wealthy man in the society, the political class, and then the proletariat, that is the working class. So this society that is divided into two, the other people, the law is there to protect them. While on the other hand, the proletariat, that is those who are the commoners in the street, the working, those who live by their daily earning, the society, the law is there to impose, to punish them. Look at what this thing is saying. For instance, under the fundamental right that is guaranteed in almost all the constitutions of the world, and that of the Bills of Rights, as well as the Universal Human Rights Declaration, the African Charter, all these very statutes, all these very enactments guarantees our right to life, our social welfare. You go to the Constitution, for instance, let's use Constitution of Nigeria for instance. If you go to the chapter 4 of the Constitution provided all the rights that we should enjoy as a society, that we should enjoy as a valid member of the society. The irony about that provision is that you see that very provision in chapter 4, all of them deals with negative rights. Negative rights in the sense that it implies something the government should not do. You should not kill, you should not do this, you should not do this, this is this thing. None of them is not considered a positive right. Positive right, if you want to know where the positive right is guaranteed in chapter 2 of this constitution. Now, for the proper illustration of what we are saying and why Marx said that law is an instrument of oppression, let us examine the 1999 Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. This also applies to Ghana because they have similar provisions, and also that of other constitutions of the world. Even that of India is still obtainable in Indian Constitution. Chapter 2 of the Constitution has what we call the directive principles on state policy. That chapter 2 provided everything the government ought to do for the citizens. But do you know what these people did? That is the politician, the bourgeoisie. These are the ruling class, the top officials, those who controls power. Do you know what they did? The military. They went ahead in section 6, sub 6, paragraph C, and make a very big problem that renders that very chapter 2 non-justiciable. If you go to section 6 sub 6 of the 1999 Constitution, section 6 sub 6 paragraph C, you will see what I'm talking about. Let us read this together. For proper understanding, we start with section 6 sub 6. The judicial power vested in accordance with the foregoing provisions of this constitution, paragraph C, shall not, except as otherwise provided by this constitution, extend to any issue or question as to whether any act or omission by the authority or person, or as to whether any law or any judicial decision is in conformity with fundamental objectives and directive principle of state policy set out in chapter 2 of that very constitution. By main reading of this, you will know that this provides an ouster clauses. An ouster clauses means that if there is a violation of a particular thing in chapter 2, by this very chapter, it says that the judicial power shall not, except as provided by this constitution, which is not provided anywhere, shall not extend to any issue or question as to whether any act or omission was done in conformity with chapter 2 of the constitution. Do you understand? It simply means that if there is anything that is provided in chapter 2 and the constitution and the government didn't provide that thing, or the government violate that thing, it means that nobody should hold them responsible. Section 15, sub 5 of this constitution, of this very 1999 constitution, says that states shall abolish all form of corruption. That is, Nigeria as a nation shall abolish all forms of corrupt practices. Do you know where this thing features? It falls under that chapter 2, which is non-justiciable. That's why you see a politician going with billions of naira and nobody is talking about it. Abacha looted the amount of money that could fill this nation for years to come. Up to today, they are still recovering Abacha's loot. And Abacha was also somebody that was instrumental to this very constitution. So you see why the Marx was agitating. See why Marx was seeing law as an instrument of oppression. And me, basically, sometimes law is not fair to people. Law is not fair to the ordinary man in the street. Section 33 of the constitution provided right to life. Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution provided right to privacy. Are you talking about right to privacy to someone who is living in the street? Are you talking about right to privacy to someone who doesn't have somewhere to lay his hand, who doesn't have shelter? How does that right to privacy guaranteed? How is it guaranteed? How can that person comfortably say, I have my own privacy, when I don't have house, when I don't have building, and one politician is living on duplex? One politician have house in Lagos, have house in Abuja, have house in London, have house in United States. Only one man who will always be sleeping under one roof, have numerous house. Why there is a common man in the street without bread to eat? And we are talking about right to privacy. What privacy does a man in the street without shelter? What privacy does a man that, in fact, if you go to Niger Delta, you will cry. If you go to some area of Bayelsa State, you will cry. You will see some people living on dungeon, living under water, living above water. They can't even see way to move out of their building. And you are talking about right to privacy. You are talking about right to dignity of man person. Which dignity again are you subjecting to? Which kind of inhuman treatment again are you prohibiting under section 34? Which human dignity is worse than that one that somebody is living underwater? Somebody is living in a dungeon, and you are talking about right to dignity of human person. Which dignity is that? Can't government be sued for the meaningless lives a lot of Nigerian citizens are living? This is what we are talking about, Marxism theory. So Marx was like, there is no justice as far as law is concerned, because law is not justice. Law is an oppression. That was what Marx was saying. That was a clear interpretation of what Marx was saying. And now let us even go and see what chapter 2 of this constitution provides, so that we are going to see what we are talking about. Because when a lecturer begins to teach you all this, he will not go in detail to tell you what is really happening. This is just a practical example. We don't need to go to Beijing. We don't need to go to Germany. We don't need to go to Tokyo to discover what Marx was saying, because everything Marx was saying is before us. Is before us. We can see it. They play, they show. So let us just go and see it again in this very chapter 2 of the Constitution, to see what that section provides, to see the beautiful provisions, and what is the reason why it should be rendered non-justiciable in section 6 sub 6 paragraph C. Why should it be rendered non-justiciable? Section 15 sub 5 of the 1999 Constitution state that the state shall abolish all corrupt practices and abuse of power. Why is it that there is abuse of power and nobody is talking? Because those who made the Constitution, those who imposed this document on us, went ahead. They were wise enough to know that if they allow everything they stated in this Constitution to operate, they are going to be in trouble. They went ahead to provide a very dirty section, section 6 sub 6 paragraph C, to say that the court should not have anything to do with the provisions of chapter 2 of the Constitution. And a nation which how can a nation which loves its citizen can make such a dirty provision? If you go to section 14 sub 1 of the Constitution, it says that Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on principle of democracy and social justice. Sub B says that the security and welfare of people shall be the primary purpose of government. Security and welfare of people shall be the primary purpose of government. So the primary purpose of Mr. President is not about moving around the nation. The primary purpose of a governor is not about looting the money of a state, but shall be on the principle of natural justice, on the principle of equity, on the principle of fairness, as well as maintaining security. That should be the primary purpose of any governor. State House legislature, Federal House legislature, the political aspect of the whole nation. Anything that is good in this Constitution that benefits you and I is enshrined in chapter 2 of the Constitution. And chapter 2 of this Constitution, if you go to this Constitution, starting from section 13 down to 25, everything that is contained between section 13 down to 25 is non-justiciable. Non-justiciable means that you cannot enforce it in the court. You cannot go to court to ask the court or to interpret anything there, whether they are violated, whether they are not violated, whether they are kept or not kept. You cannot approach the court to interpret or give meaning to it. Because had it been that place is justiciable, all this wanton killing, all this innumerable killing, all this dirty killing that is going on in our nation, we should have held government responsible. One president could have been convicted on the ground of not providing security for Nigerians. One governor could have been convicted on the ground of not taking care of his state, not paying the worker's salary. It is in that chapter 2 you will also find the workers' welfare, but they shine it where you cannot even question it. The right to school. Right to school. It is in this social objective, this chapter 2 again, is where you are going. Because of what of time, we could have go and assess everything that is in this chapter 2. If you go to this chapter 2, that is also where you are going to see the dividends that you are entitled to have a right to education. Right to education, not just that you have your mother or your father or your relation has to sponsor you. The government has a role to play to ensure that all Nigerians are educated. Look at how illiteracy is going on. Those who are educated are half percentage of those who are not educated, and nobody is talking about it. So I'm trying to say this is not why we are here, because we are here to study the law, but I'm trying to tell you that everything we are saying is just to tell you that what we are discussing is not far from truth. What Marxist is saying is not far from truth. So I agree with him that to some extent law is not fair to common man in the street. Then we go to the criticism, because every school of law has its own criticism. Yes, take it or leave it, all of them has their own defects, including this Marxist theory. Number one criticism of this theory is that Marx predicted withering away of law. So number one criticism is that Marx, that is Marx, predicted that there shall be a day whereby the law will wither away. What do I mean by wither away? That is, there shall be a time where there will be no law in the society. Everybody will become equal. There will be no law. Everybody, have you heard of something they say classless society? That is what Marx is proposing. Marx is proposing that there shall be a time where there will be no law in the society. Then everybody will become equal. So according to him, as society progresses towards full communism, a classless and stateless society will emerge. The need for law as an instrument of control will diminish. In a truly communist society where there is no private ownership of the means of production and no class division, the functions of law like enforcing property rights or managing conflict will become obsolete. People will govern themselves based on collective needs and social norms rather than formal legal codes. So Marx predicted a day in the world where there will be no law. I will wake up and hear there is no law again. Everything will be equal. I will eat. If you have food, I will eat. If your neighbor see your own food, he will take away. If you see Dangote car, you can take Dangote car. If you see Elon Musk building, you can sleep on it. If you see Mark Zuckerberg building, did I say Mark Zuckerberg? Mark Zuckerberg building. If I didn't pronounce it, you know what I'm saying. If you see the house of the owner of Facebook, you can sleep there. This is what Marx is predicting. Marx is predicting that there shall be a day where everybody will not be owning anything. We shall be sharing. We shall be living in communion. We shall be living like in heaven. But, truth be told, that is not possible. That is not possible. I refuse to dream with Marx. I refuse. I wake up. I refuse. There shall never be a time you can tell me that there will be no law again. There can never be a time you will tell me that everybody will be sharing their property with you. You can just go and lie down in Elon Musk's bed and rest, and nobody will talk to you. You can just go to Dangote's room and sleep and start watching television, as if to say, they will just buy you. So it's not possible. Marx predicted a situation whereby the law will fade away, everything will be equal, all of us will be eating and drinking. That's probably he was inspired by the Bible that there shall be a heaven on earth. I think that is what motivated him. In as much as I agree with him, see this one, I disagree. There can never be a time where the law will die away. As far as this modern society is concerned, even if, in fact, the law is even getting bigger every day. If you calculate the whole enactment in Nigeria and the legislators are still enacting, after they have collected 1 million naira salary a month, they will just wake up and they will enact one law. So it's not possible to reduce law. It's not possible that law will fade away. It's impossible. Then we move to another criticism. All these things, you are going to say it in your paper. If you are watching this video for the purpose of your exam, legal method, legal system, jurisprudence, you are going to put it on your paper. You are going to criticize it and say that it's not possible that law can wither away. Yes, there is no possible. It's not possible. If it's possible on your side, you tell the lecturer it's possible. Everything goes. That's why my lecturer say, don't say yes or no. It depends, and it depends. Then another thing Marx said that there shall be an end of states. Not only that law will wither away, but there should be there could be end of state, or there will be an end of states and law. So ultimately, Marxists believe that both the states and law will wither away. That is, will fade away, because their foundational purpose of managing class conflict will no longer exist in a classless society. Social harmony will be maintained through communal cooperation rather than through the enforcement of law by state apparatus. So do you see the argument of this young man as he then was? He was like, there could be a time where the law will fade away and the state will fade away. The state here doesn't mean Lagos State. The state here means Nigeria. The state here means Kenya. The state here means South Africa. The state here means Ghana. Yes, it means Ghana. It means USA. So we are talking about country here. So it means there will be a time where the country will fade away. Everybody will be equal. We all will believe. I don't even know what inspired this man say, because as I keep reading this, I keep thinking of Marxist. I become so like, was he just dreaming, or is there any other special food he ate when he was developing this theory? Because how are you telling me that there are going to be a day where the country, everything as it is organized now will fade away? It's not possible. It's not possible. So basically, these are the criticism of this young man idea as it then was. That all these things, that there shall be a day where all these things will fade away, everybody will be equal. So that is one takeaway I want you to learn. So if you are dealing with this theory, know all this time. Don't forget, your knowledge in this video is not complete until you watch other theories of law. We have the positive theory, we have the natural law theory, we have the legal realism theory, we have the sociological theory, and so many theories. You have the King's Advocate theory. Yes, when you go down to this channel, you will see all this theory. And also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. In fact, subscribing to this channel will give you access to more video. So I encourage you to subscribe because every day we are posting a lecture video that will help all of us to grow as law students. As a legal person, you have to know your right. There is no better way to know your right than to watching educational content. So remember, Lord Dennis said that God forbid that a lawyer should know all the law, but rather he should know where to find the law. If you want to know where to find your law, King's Advocate Network is your #1 place to find the law. I will see you in the next video. If you want to watch my positive law, click on the right hand of this screen. Yes, above you are going to see that positive law. Click it and watch it, and you will see other laws. As well, if you go to description box, you are also going to see my other videos on positive natural law. So go to my playlist now and check out this video yourself. I will see you right there.